Hello and welcome to Ben's Paint Workshop. Today we're going to paint some SpaceWolves Wolfguard Terminators. First things first, I think the heads for these will be quite difficult to paint connected, so we've kept them off the models and drilled tiny holes in the bottom and fitted some 2mm wire on, giving the heads on stakes. Makes it a lot easier for painting. We'll start with those first. First up, we're going to give the skin a couple of thin coats of Cadian flesh tone mixed with pallid witch flesh to give them that sort of cold appearance and like they haven't seen the sun in quite a while. Here we're going to take some Memphiston Red and Avalan Sunset, mix them together and give ourselves a nice ginger colour for our mate and his hair. Next we're going to take some Wraithbone and give one of the guys a white beard. Then we'll mix up a tiny spot of black in that white and give our other guy a bit of grey hair going on. Next we're going to hit our captain's eye patch with some Avalan Sunset. Decided to throw some lead belcher on this bit, but back of the helmet probably wasn't necessary. We're just going to Abaddon black over the base of all the heads. Next we're going to apply Nuln oil over all the faces. I'll give it a little dab here just to remove a little bit of excess off the crown of the head. Now we're going to give our ginger guy a bit of an Agrax earth shade on his hair, a little bit more natural appearance. In my opinion, he's starting to look pretty angry. Now we're just going to do a pallid witch flesh dry brush over the faces, just to try and get a bit of that pop. This now completes the faces. Next step, we are going to get on to painting the bodies. We're simply going to take rust grey and go over the entire model. Also want to mention here that this is not thinned, straight from the pot, and we're just layering it on nicely. It's almost going to dry, but tacky. We're just trying to catch the surfaces. Now we're going to take SpaceWolves Grey contrast and just go over all the models, bring out the detail. That now completes the contrast paint on the miniatures. And we're going to start picking out some detail, starting with Wraithbone over all the sort of crests on the arms, and including the other side crests as well, shoulder things. That'll give us a good base for the overland sunset to go on. Just thought I'd mention here, I've done like a stippled white effect over the hammer and dude's sword. We're going to give those a sort of special effect later on. Now we're going to take lead belcher and go over all the weaponry. Here we're going to do first layers on fur with sandry dust. Gives a good base for fur. Here on the bear coat, we're going to leave a darker section in the middle. Should give a cool effect. Now we're going to pick out all of our details with Overland Sunset. With the yellow done, we're now going to put the red on the captain's coat. Also want to mention that I have not thinned any paint since we put on the original rust grey. It's all pretty much straight out of the pot. Gives a really good coverage. Now we're going to mix some McCrag Blue and Warpstone Glow. Should give us a nice ice effect. And we're just going to blot that over the white on a couple of the weapons that we want the special effects on. And we can't forget the Mephiston red into the eyes. Now we're going to take Balthazar Gold and spot out all of our gold detailing, which is quite a lot on all these guys. Now we're going to take some glow-in-the-dark blue, mixed with some Lamia medium, and apply that to our ice weapons. And apply some SpaceWolves decals to the shoulders. Here we're going to apply some Corax white to the edge of the two ice weapons and give it a little sort of dry flick in a few places just to make it look like ice. Now we're going to apply Nuln oil over most of the miniatures, pretty much just picking out all the detail. As per the last video, I'm just using a piece of paper and my old wash water. These are fine, don't need to get fancy with it. Now we're going to apply Agrax Earthshade over all of the fur for our captain. Now we're going to apply our highlights, which is Warehouse Acrylic Silver over the other 3 weapons, and then Pallid Witch Flesh pretty much everywhere else, especially the white shoulder details, and pick out a wee bit of edge highlights on the blue. It's at this stage putting highlights on that details absolutely pop out at you. Now for the bases, we're going to apply some technical Agrellan Earth, followed by Scenic Blends Medium Dry Desert ground cover, and then a technical Valhallan Blizzard, followed by a Powder Snow. Thus now completing our miniatures, and I will give them a Rust-Oleum 2X clear coat prior to the reveal. Thanks.